In the spring of 1588, King Philip II of Spain assembled the largest fleet the world had ever seen. 130 ships, 27,000 men, 2,500 guns. He called it the Invincible Armada. History would remember it differently. Philip's plan was simple, on paper. Sail north through the English Channel, join the Duke of Parma's army in Flanders, cross the Channel, invade England, overthrow Queen Elizabeth I, restore Catholicism to the island. Simple, on paper. England was waiting. Queen Elizabeth had built a fleet of her own, 197 ships, faster and lower than their Spanish rivals, armed with longer-range guns, commanded by men who had spent their lives at sea. A year earlier, Sir Francis Drake had sailed into the harbor at Cádiz and burned over 20 Spanish ships. He called it singeing the King of Spain's beard. It delayed the Armada by a year. It was not enough to stop it. On May 28, 1588, the Armada left Lisbon. Its sails bore the blessing of the Pope. Its men carried indulgences for the holy war ahead. Philip II believed God was with them. God, apparently, was not. A violent storm scattered the fleet before it reached the Channel. Ships limped back to Spanish ports. The Armada did not enter the Channel until July, delayed, repaired, and diminished before a shot was fired. On July 19th, the Armada was sighted off Cornwall. Beacon fires lit on the cliff tops. One by one, hill to hill, the signal raced inland. By the time it reached London, the largest invasion force ever aimed at England was already in the Channel. The Spanish sailed in a crescent formation, a half-moon of ships stretching miles across the Channel. It was designed to be unbreakable. The English refused to break it by attacking from behind. Instead, they attacked the flanks. Again and again, the crescent held, but it bled. For 9 days, the English harassed the Armada east through the Channel. At Portland Bill, the Isle of Wight, they could not break the formation. The Spanish could not stop moving forward. Both sides were running out of ammunition. The Spanish galleons were built for boarding and fighting at close range. Their plan was to grapple the English ships and let their superior soldiers do the rest. The English never let them close enough. They fired, they withdrew, they fired again. On July 27th, the Armada anchored off Calais. They were waiting for Parma's army in Flanders. Parma was not ready. And as the Armada sat still in the darkness, the English were building something. 8 English ships, loaded with pitch and gunpowder, were set alight just after midnight, unmanned, burning, drifting on the tide toward the packed Spanish anchorage. The Spanish commanders knew the English sometimes used fireships. They had prepared for them. But when the burning ships came, there was only panic. Captains cut their anchors. Ships collided in the darkness. In minutes, the crescent formation that had held for 9 days was gone. At dawn, the English fleet found the Armada scattered and disorganized off Gravelines. This was the moment they had waited for. The Battle of Gravelines lasted 8 hours. The English guns, longer ranged and faster loading, tore through the Spanish hulls. The Spanish fought back, but the formation was gone, and without it, they were fighting ship by ship. Several Spanish ships were sunk, many more were crippled, and the Flemish sandbanks were just 2 miles to the east, a death trap for deep-hulled galleons. Then, the wind changed. It pushed the Spanish north, away from the sandbanks and away from England. The Armada was retreating. The English pursued them north into the Channel until they ran out of ammunition. The Spanish sailed on. Around Scotland, into the Atlantic, the long way home. Then came the storms. Atlantic gales, the like of which the Spanish ships were never built to survive. Galleons designed for the warm Mediterranean were torn apart in the North Atlantic. 24. Spanish ships were wrecked on the rocks of the Irish coast. Survivors who made it ashore were executed by English authorities or killed by the Irish lords who feared reprisal. The sea had done what the English guns had not. Elizabeth I had ridden to the army camp at Tilbury on the Thames the day before the Armada's defeat. She did not know yet that she had won. She spoke to her soldiers wearing armor over her gown. She told them she had the heart and stomach of a king. The soldiers believed her. She stood at the edge of the river and faced what was coming. The greatest queen of the most dangerous century in English history. The daughter of Anne Boleyn. The woman Philip II had sent 130 ships to destroy. She was still there. Of the 130 ships that left Lisbon, only 65 returned. 15,000 men had died at sea, in the storms, on the Irish coast. In battles they almost won. Philip II received the news in silence. He had spent the wealth of the New World on this fleet. He lit a candle and sat alone. He said, "I sent my ships to fight against men, not the winds and waves of God." England would never look back. The defeat of the Armada did not end the war. The two nations fought for another 16 years. But something had shifted. England was a maritime power, and the Atlantic was open. The anchors of the Spanish Armada still lie on the floor of the English Channel and the Irish Sea. Found by divers centuries later, silent and barnacled in the dark, the evidence of one of history's great miscalculations. The channel was empty again by autumn. The storms had passed. The beacons on the cliff tops had gone dark, and England was still England. Philip II sent 2 more armadas after 1588. Both were turned back by storms. He would die in 1598, still at war, still undefeated in his own mind, still King of Spain. Elizabeth would reign for another 15 years. She would never marry. She never needed to. She had already outlasted the greatest navy in the world. All it cost was a calm head, a faster ship, and the wind blowing the wrong way for Spain.